to Beer Fueled Fantasy Football. It is finally the first full week of August, so we're going to go ahead and kick it off with 3 weeks here. Monday episode will start off pretty normally here. We are going to go ahead and jump through news, beer preview, all the normal stuff. And then we've got training camp battles with both quarterbacks and running backs for you guys this week. Up on Wednesday, we're going to go through wide receivers and tight ends, and then we'll probably be back with a giant news episode for you guys on Friday because due to scheduling, there's going to be a big gap between the recording sessions. Woo! Sorry about that. We are Beer Fueled Fantasy Football. I am at Nick Sparts. Dan Thury across the table from me.
At Thury BFF. What's up?
And to my left, Rockin' Scott Fishbowl, is Christopher Hopper.
Hi.
You sound so enthused.
Hot BFF with 2 Ps.
All right. So with us recording 2 tonight, is the listener league closed, or are we going to close it when we record next week?
No, it's closed. We're going to do a quick YouTube live and draw before we leave here.
Fantastic. So ignore everything we said about that. If you did get into the listener league, though, congratulations. We look forward to drafting with you guys. Do we know when we're drafting or have any idea there?
I kind of need to coordinate it with everybody in the league, and I don't know who's in the league yet, so that makes it a little difficult.
All right.
I mean, I do by the time this drops, but at the time we're recording this, I have no idea.
All right, well, keep an eye on Twitter for all that. We're going to try to keep you posted in regards to that. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at BeerFueledFF. That's also where you can find Instagram and Untapped, where we drop can art and beer reviews. And then I think Dan will be doing some additional stuff on Instagram here starting the next couple of weeks with training camp heating up.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else we got to shout out at the moment?
No.
All right, well, as always, if you want to watch us on video, you can follow us on YouTube, Beer Fueled Fantasy Football. Let's hit a beer preview to try to get Hopper out of his bad mood.
He's so angry.
I feel like I'm watching Waiting.
I was like, oh my God, he's so angry.
God. All right. We have Rolling Meadows Farms Breweries Session IPA. It's their first time on the show. They're from Cantrell, Illinois. Cantrell, sorry.
Don't over-enunciate it.
Just north of Springfield. Central Illinois pronounces shit weird. Session IPA, 5.2%, citrus and stone fruit flavors. We'll give you a full review once we get through news and quarterbacks.
News.
And it's too late now. I just realized for all the contract signings, we just need a straight cash homie drop.
Oh, well. It's past. We've missed it.
Too late.
All right. Well, Vikings signed Stephon Diggs to a 5-year, $72 million extension through 2023. Includes $40 million guaranteed, so he will be with Cousins for the next 3 seasons at least.
The most guaranteed money amongst wide receivers right now.
It'll last less.
Set in that market for Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh, yeah, okay. It'll last like.
Hold on. That's the closest thing I got right now.
Okay. It works. He didn't get paid, though.
If you watched any of the crappy YouTube stuff last year, you know where that came from.
That was your TFS picks?
That's good. What was your first clue?
I could barely understand what the drop was.
Yeah, the drop quality's gotten better.
Yeah, they have.
Any long-term, does this kind of help stabilize his value for you in Dynasty, just knowing that he's going to be here?
I thought he was going to get signed. Like, I thought this was going to be their number one move.
We're talking about Diggs?
Yeah.
Yes, we're still talking about Diggs.
I didn't hear you initially. I was trying to find the drop, so I was just taking a wild guess at who signed a contract.
No, it wasn't Parker.
No, it definitely wasn't. He's the anti-hype right now. Diggs, it doesn't really move him a whole lot. I wasn't necessarily worried about stability. I kind of always thought that the Vikings would get a deal done. He's always flash talent and shown it when he's been on the field, but he's also had some struggles with staying on the field. So, I felt like for him, the best option was to sign there. So there wasn't any reports of discontent or anything like that. So I just fully expected it to get done.
Yeah, and the day before he signed it, he was like, I want to stay in Minnesota. And then within 24 hours, he had this deal done. So that always works out well.
I didn't see him leaving.
No.
And he's on a Super Bowl contender. There was no reason.
Miami Herald reports Devontae Parker has been largely ineffective through the first 5 days of camp. Normally would not bring up camp hype, but when the beat reporters are throwing a guy under the bus, that's bad.
Just the first 5 days of camp? I mean, hasn't he been largely ineffective for relatively 4 years?
I mean, this is going in comparison to last year when he was just getting nothing but hype.
Are they trying to like do it backwards because he sucks.
Reverse psychology.
Because he sucks when they hype him up, so now they have to like tear him down to make him a new man.
So basically, they're trying to treat him like a toddler. Like you tell him the opposite of what you want him to do. Do not clean your room.
Spraying water on their helmet when they're doing something good. No,
you cut too early. Do it again. No. Well, hopefully he can get it together. I mean, he's flashed some amazing catches, some great plays. He's had a couple great contested catches that he had last year, but it's been inconsistent. And
I think he just needs to leave Miami.
Yeah, at this point,
start.
Toxic, get out of there. Go where there's less cocaine in nightclubs. I mean, you can go there. Doug Baldwin is dealing with a sore knee. Will be sidelined for a few weeks.
So with it being a veteran that's been in this, I know they brought in a new OC, but that's been in the game for a while, that's been on the team for a while, has chemistry with the quarterback. This concerns me less. If it's a precautionary thing, if it's just kind of balking, you get him into a couple preseason games late and he's good to go, and you can do that more with a veteran than you can a rookie. So
I mean, for me, I'm not really concerned about like learning the system. It's more Pete Carroll's issue. Pete Carroll's held stuff close to the vest before, and there was jokes on the Seahawks sub when this got announced that like, all right, well, this means he's dead, and they're looking for the body right now. with the way they cover injuries.
Okay, Drew, relax. It's not the end of the world.
It doesn't faze me right now. I mean, I'm sure this will become more clear later, and then I'll have more of an opinion on it. But right now, I'm not moving on it. It sounds like his knee's just bothering him, and this early in training camp, I would think that most teams are going to err on the side of caution when it comes to pulling guys due to injury.
He's not going to play all preseason, and they'll make sure that he's ready to go by week 1 regular season. Well, that's my guess.
I want to get some positive reports in the next week and a half.
Well, yeah, me too. I'm just saying, just don't expect this team on the field this preseason.
No, I don't need to.
Yeah,
sure, there will be an MRI at some point.
As long as he's fully practicing by the time we get to the season, I'm not worried. But I want to start seeing some positive news because people are going to start drafting here in the next 10, 15 days.
Maybe he'll fade. Buy low.
Hell yeah.
ESPN's Field Yates, shout out Field Yates, reports free agent Eric Decker worked out for the Patriots on Monday. They are apparently dealing with Kenny Britt, Philip Dorsett, Jordan Matthews related injuries right now.
They want another slot receiver? No, he does now, Decker?
That's what he ran with at Tennessee.
Yeah, big slot receiver. He didn't really do a whole lot in Tennessee. So, I mean, sure, you put him with Tom Brady, there's going to be some hype there, but it's like I mentioned on one of the episodes last week, there's just a lot of guys there and nothing that's really too enticing, I guess, that I really want to, especially with Edelman out. I mean, what wide receiver do you point at and say that one?
Hogan's the only one. That's it.
Hogan's not even one.
I disagree with you there.
To me, this is just a camp body. I think that maybe they, maybe Malcolm Mitchell's writing on the wall here if they decide to sign him. But Decker doesn't bring enough to this offense anymore. He's over 30. He's battled with injuries, and he didn't do much, as Hopper alluded to, with Titans last year.
I mean, the Titans' passing offense was completely anemic.
Yeah, I know, but so was the Jets a few years ago, and he was, then he found consistency with them.
You still got consistent performances from Delaney Walker, and Rashard Matthews at least put up some relevance. I don't know that Decker had a relevant week.
I mean, he may not even get signed by him, so at this point, who knows?
Yeah. And then this is more just a roster move more than anything. Michael Floyd signs with the New Orleans Saints. And
then Michael Floyd got cut with the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah. we'll wait till the cut down spectacular for that one.
He got a DUI on the way there.
Someone posted when I saw this. They said Sean Payton wants a drinking buddy.
Yeah, and then he sleeps with Sean Payton's wife and is in the doghouse, and that's the end of that.
Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram's suspended. He can't do it.
All right. Any other news notes that you guys saw in the last 48 hours? Yes, we're recording this only 48 hours after the last episode.
Need work.
No.
All right. Let's move on to camp battles.
Things are changing. I just wanted to use this drop. I didn't actually make anything. It helps to actually put the drop. Changes. Turn and face the strain. Changes. It's the only thing I had that came close to fitting because we are recording this only 48 hours after the last one.
So after 48 hours, we have nothing. That's why we just keep repeating. Training camp battles. I don't know. Whatever.
So training camp battles. We're going to go through quarterbacks and running backs in this episode. We're going to look at. I basically ran through the majority of the ones I could think of. I'm sure I'm missing a couple, but basically anything that's a high priority situation where if somebody can win this battle outright, it'll either be an obvious fantasy starter situation or somebody who could be very fantasy relevant depending on how it shakes out. I'm going to ask you guys.
Aren't you asking us about the Bills quarterback situation?
I am, yes. Superflex matters.
Okay.
Including the listener league you're running.
If you're in a 16-team Superflex league,
Hey,
then
You may want to roster them.
you may want to roster whoever the Bills starting quarterback is.
I very unfortunately have Josh Allen as my QB3 in the Scott Fishbowl. Okay.
You are very unfortunate.
I'm not happy about it,
I've
but
got Darnold. We'll talk about him later.
all right. So the question I'm going to ask you guys on all these is how significant is the role being fought for? That's where you can shit talk on the Bills. just to make Taylor happy.
Sorry, Taylor.
What are you watching for in training camp preseason about this? So is there particular things you're looking for in terms of camp reps, preseason snaps, anything like that? And then what are you predicting the final outcome is? Starting off first, the crazy thing going on with the Jets, who actually did have a fantasy relevant quarterback last year for a large chunk of the season in Josh McCown. He is trying to fed off Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Darnold. How significant is this overall?
Back in streamer levels of significant. I don't want to draft the Jets quarterback to be my quarterback one in super flex. If I, for some reason, wait on my second quarterback, I'm okay with it. And then I think it'll be relevant a couple times throughout the season if they have some good matchups. They don't have really steady receiving options, but they have some guys who can perform. So if they run into a good matchup, you could hear us recommending starting whoever the Jets quarterback is.
I mean, they'll still have Anderson and Curse, who performed last year, and they have a healthy Enunwa this year.
I think Anderson's an anomaly, though. The peripherals on him were pretty bad, even though the results were good. I think it was kind of a Brandon LaFell thing.
Yeah, I think for this it's going to be Josh McCown. I'm more interested to see between Bridgewater and I guess Darnold and who gets the number 2
That's
job.
question 2. He didn't ask us to stick our throw yet.
So, what are you watching for here?
I just said I'm watching to see how the competition between Bridgewater and Darnold. I think McCown gets the 1 job though.
I'm looking to see if Darnold actually shows up to camp.
He did.
He got signed.
Did he finally?
Yeah, he got signed.
Okay.
He got signed yesterday.
I guess I saw that Roquan Smith was the last first round that was unsigned. So anyway, I'm going to be watching first team reps, obviously, throughout training camp. And then for McCown, I'm just going to be watching to make sure that he's not throwing a bunch of picks or making a bunch of boneheaded plays or doesn't hurt himself in week 3.
Of the preseason.
For Teddy, I still think that's more of a we signed him cheap and let's see if we can make him a trade piece if somebody gets hurt or something like that. So for Teddy, I'm just looking to see him get some meaningful reps in, and to see how mobile is he, how good's his arm, because other than that one stint at the end of the game last year, we haven't really seen Teddy. So he's probably my most intriguing to watch at least from a dynasty perspective. And then for Darnold, it's again, I'm more watching McCown's performance and just making sure that he's also kind of doing the same thing. He's not turning the ball over. He's not making boneheaded plays. The college tape translates.
All right. On to the Bills. A.J. McCarron versus Josh Allen versus Nathan 5-pick Peterman. So I'm assuming not significant on the roll in this one for you guys.
No.
Not a 1 QB and pretty deep in super flex.
All right. I don't even know how you're going to interpret this because from what I hear, they're all looking pretty ugly so far. Who do you think actually wins this job?
Josh Allen, I think, does.
Probably McCarron, if you're asking me. If Josh Allen looks bad, I would think that they want to protect him instead of put him under immediate fire and that you feed the veteran to the wolves in this case. If Nathan Peterman can flash anything, then he might have an outside shot. But I still think that it's McCarron, and it's kind of the same thing as a Teddy. 1, you wanted to flash, but 2, if everybody looks bad, I think that you protect your rookie.
So you think Allen can win this job if he comes out and looks good, but if everyone looks bad, they'll throw McCarron out?
Yes.
Okay.
Whoever starts week 3 of preseason, I think starts week 1. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Going out on a limb on that one.
I quit. Thanks for the analysis.
Well, it's the fucking Bills. How much more do you want?
Taylor's so happy he made all the shot bets with us. Cardinals, Sam Bradford versus Josh Rosen.
This one's more interesting.
Bradford gets hurt week 6. Josh Rosen takes it over. It's a higher end streamer than what the Jets' job is because Larry Fitzgerald is still there. And I think that covers it.
I mean, David Johnson, too.
David Johnson also. And the defense is mediocre, but not terrible. So, in Superflex, it's intriguing. Is a cheap quarterback, too, that I probably wouldn't hate. And I think Bradford performs when he plays. My question is, how long does he play? So,
yeah,
and I've been saying week 6 for a long time.
So you don't think he'll get pulled for performance issues?
No.
His knee will forcibly remove him.
Yes.
He'll pop the blue pill and show up.
All right,
A leave?
Sure.
Tyrod Taylor versus Baker Mayfield.
This one's so hard for me. First off, probably the most relevant battle for a quarterback spot that involves a rookie, just because the weapons here are going to be amazing, and you get a high-end stream.
Well, if Josh Gordon ever reports to camp.
Even if not, Callaway is still not a slouch. So, plus Njoku, Coleman, Landry, I mean, that's still...
And then when they sign Des Bryant.
Yeah.
Listen, they'll fucking sign Des to piss us all off.
And the Josh Gordon thing doesn't concern me. I think it's a keeping him away from out of the spotlight with Hard Knocks type of deal. So... that or it's a built-in storyline. But that being said, Tyrod Taylor, if he gets the nod to start, I think he plays well enough to hold on to the job unless he's removed by injury. He did a lot with nothing in Buffalo, and he's actually got weapons in Cleveland, an offensive coordinator that's not terrible. And
should be a decent offensive line, too.
Yeah.
Should be.
And he's got rushing floor, so he should be a high-end stream and a target. I mean, especially when Nick and I projected him out for sure, a target in Superflex as long as he starts. Now, if injury happens, then Baker Mayfield comes in, and I don't think they lose a whole lot there. But, you do get a rookie quarterback, you lose the rushing upside, so I think that does fade him a little bit.
Oh, yeah, he'd be probably a low 2, high quarterback 3 for me if he came in versus Taylor being a mid to high 2.
Yeah.
That rushing floor helps a lot.
Yeah. It's not that Mayfield's slow, but he's not Tyrod.
Yeah, no, he's not going to run it 70, 80 times a year like Tyrod does.
No.
Well, it depends. Just like you guys said, it's going to be Tyrod will be a mid to high 2 with one upside. Baker, if he has to take over, will be that mid to high, or I guess the mid to low 2 with some high 2 upside to him because he can rush and he has a fucking arm. We've all seen it. It just depends on the Browns start this season. For me, it's not how well Taylor plays, it's how well the Browns play. And then how well they'll get pushed from the owners and everybody else. It's very difficult to keep a 101 pick off the field.
Well, that's the other scenario that
That's
I
the
see
problem.
is if they're losing and Hugh Jackson tries to make a last-ditch effort to save his job.
Yep.
Because with all the talent they have, they shouldn't lose the first 4 or 5 out of the gate.
So, but...
They have a tough opening schedule.
They do. But the one defense for Tyrod is we've seen him perform. He's probably not going to throw the job away.
No.
I don't think you will.
No,
either.
I don't think you will either. I don't think there's any chance that Tyrod throws the job away. I think that either Hugh Jackson makes a last-ditch effort to try to light a fire under the team before he gets canned, and Todd Haley gets named the interim head coach.
Well, better be him and not Greg Williams.
Yeah. Or
fuck Greg Williams.
Tyrod gets hurt because he has had some soft tissue issues, and then Baker takes the job and doesn't give it back.
There's also one more, and that's if Baker plays out of his mind in the preseason.
Yeah, I could see
this could be like a Russell Wilson type of situation where Baker plays out of his mind and then forces out Tyrod.
Tyrod would have to play bad,
different.
though, and that was the other part of that is that Matt Flynn looked like absolute shit in that preseason. It was a combination of Wilson playing good and Flynn playing bad.
Wilson played fucking insane that preseason.
He did, but we also found out Matt Flynn's not that good.
I know. I mean, I think we all knew that, but
and
the Seahawks didn't.
Well,
we've seen more. Flynn is more AJ McCarron than Tyrod Taylor because we've seen Tyrod start for an NFL team and produce.
All right, one last one. Joe Flacco versus Lamar Jackson on the Ravens.
I don't think that there's any chance that Lamar Jackson starts the season as the quarterback. I think they find ways to use him, I don't know if that's Wildcat packages. I don't know if it's sub packages.
There's been stuff.
I don't know if it's smart.
I don't know if it's splitting him out. I don't know how they'll do it, but I don't see any scenario that Lamar Jackson starts year one.
Well, thankfully, I'm caught up on all Ravens stuff. So they've been practicing a lot of Wildcat for Lamar Jackson, but they also been doing a lot of both of them out there.
Yeah.
Even Flacco lining up as a wide receiver and not dropping the football like Tom Brady. So they'll get
Why would you have Joe Flacco out as a receiver?
it's
Decoy.
It's not, it's more or less, you're getting the ball in Lamar Jackson's hands and something happens. Why would you be throwing the ball at Tom Brady?
But why would you risk your starting quarterback running routes also?
Yeah, he's got a chance to get hit.
I'm just saying.
With Tom Brady, will you risk it because it's a fucking Super Bowl?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, to me, this all sounds way too cute, and they've been talking about it for all through OTAs and now training camp, and it seems like
they want to get him out
themselves.
there, but no, Joe Flacco's job is not on the line
jeopardy.
unless he sucks where he gets hurt. Apparently, he's having a good a good week and a half of training camp so far.
Yes, the camp buzz has been
Yeah.
good.
And if there's
Can't
one
bust
thing we know
him.
about Flacco, it's that he's not going to suck, but he's damn sure
No.
not going to wow you.
In terms of this actual significance,
No. Last year he sucked. He was awful.
He didn't have wide receivers. It's kind of a requirement for the game.
Yeah, he'll be a mid to low QB2. What's maybe one game near the low end one upside.
I think Flacco will be a low 2 at best. His efficiency numbers just aren't good.
No, he was also hurt for the majority of last year, and no offensive line and no weapons. So it does help that he's not hurt.
Okay.
No weapons.
All right. Beer review.
All right. Wow, we're moving fast.
That's what she said.
Beer review.
It's okay. The next half of this episode is going to be just Nick reading off the long list of running backs that are fighting for positions.
Yeah, this will take a while. So what do you guys think of Session IPA from Rolling Meadows Farm Brewery?
It's a session IPA. No, I mean that really is. The hops are definitely of the citrus variety. They're actually Galaxy and Citra. That's kind of what they're known for. So you get some juiciness with it. It's not hazy. It's actually very crisp, very light-bodied, very juicy, mild bitterness.
Yep, it's got the bitterness at the back end. Just like you said, it's crisp. You got the nice juice up front and light body, easy drinking.
Yeah, a little stronger than most sessions. Most sessions generally come in more like the 4.5. This is a little over 5.
Can tell.
But yeah, it's real easy to sip down. I like the hint of the stone fruit. I don't taste a ton of it, but it's a little bit
I don't
different.
even know what the hell stone fruit tastes
I'm
like.
not gonna
but
lie, I
it's
don't
definitely
either.
fruity.
But it's not just the classic only citrus taste that you get out of a lot of these.
I think it really rocks.
All right, he's back. All right. Well, thank you very much for jumping on the show, Rolling Meadows. We'll go ahead and kick it over to running backs. Kicking it off first with probably the busiest backfield right now. Seahawks fighting for the first, second, and third string running back in this backfield. We've got Rashard Penny, Chris Carson, CJ Procise, Mike Davis, and JD McKissick for the Royal Rumble to rule them all. How are we breaking this down?
Holy crap. Carson as the lead back. Procise is the third down back. Penny is the change of pace.
So you're thinking Penny doesn't even start the season?
No, I don't
No.
think he does either.
I think it goes down as one of the worst draft picks in history.
I think it's gonna be in competition for most of the season because Carson looked good before he got hurt last year. I believe he was number one in elusiveness last year before he got hurt or Drew Clay, something like that. So he looked good with the bad offensive line. They haven't yet to improve this offensive line.
And he's the only one you're hearing hype about.
Yeah, the very little hype on Penny is he's looked better with pass protection. I think Penny could get maybe some goal line work, but in terms of fantasy relevance, not a lot here until we hear more.
Okay.
Somebody's going to break out.
Procise will get hurt.
If you're Procise will get hurt, which will make McKissick the third down back. But somebody's going to break out. So I'll tell you right now, Penny is going way too high. So unless his ADP comes down, Chris Carson's the one that I want to target a little bit later on is, potential flex play.
So Penny is going at the 404 right now.
Oh, why?
Yeah.
Carson is going at the 1102. He's rising. He was in like the 13th or 14th.
It's going to get pretty close.
It probably will, but even if they come even, unless some of the news out of camp changes, I'm taking Carson. This is definitely something that you want to watch preseason for, though. See who's getting first down reps, see who's chunking away yardage, see who's performing, see who's getting the passing down work.
And see who gets that first goal line carry. Because right now, this role may be more touchdown dependent than anything else. Where you're just
if they can get rushing touchdowns.
See what they do in the red zone in general.
Exactly, that too.
So we will try to watch all 65 preseason games. We got most of them last year.
You got a lot.
Do we have League Pass again?
I renewed my League Pass, yes.
Oh, cool. Sweet.
Thanks, Bill.
Shout out League Pass.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if we'll be splitting them up or we'll all be trying to watch everything, but we'll definitely be watching them. And so you don't have to suffer through that. We'll have all the news for you, what we see, our takeaways, right here on Beerfield's Fantasy Football at BeerfieldFF on
Doing
Twitter.
that deep dive preseason work.
Hashtag shameless self-promotion.
I was going to say, are we done with the shameless self-promotion or we got a
Hell
little bit
no.
more on us?
Let's go.
Browns, running back 1, running back 2 between Duke Johnson, Carlos Hyde, and Nick Chubb. Apparently Chubb and Hyde have both looked good this offseason.
It means Hyde starts.
It means it's split.
Yeah, that too.
And then
Johnson gets all the passing.
They both have relevance. I think both of them are pretty fairly priced the last time I looked, or at least in the drafts that I've seen. And Duke Johnson is the one that has the solidified role that you probably want to target here because he's going to be a lock for 75, 80 targets, especially in PPR formats. He's the one you're targeting because he'll get carries too.
In half PPR, Hyde's going 712, Duke Johnson's going 902, and Nick Chubb 903.
I want Duke Johnson. I think that's the only person I want to take from this. If I'm taking a dart throw on a non-Duke Johnson, though, it's probably Nick Chubb.
Dope, he can just win the job outright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's better than Hyde. I deep dove some of Hyde's efficiency numbers last year, and they were atrocious.
I think he's better than Hyde too, but for whatever reason, I don't know if Hyde wasn't getting openings last year or what. No, there's a lack of passing game early on. And then I think they also did a little bit of that thing where they stopped giving him as many carries in the second part of the season.
They got really cute with Matt Breida.
They did.
For some reason.
I think hence why Hopper paid up for him on our Dynasty Listener League.
No, Hopper paid up for him on a Dynasty Listener League because Hopper can just throw money at the people he wants to target right now, and it doesn't really matter because I'm like $100 above almost everybody. So if I say I want that guy, I'm going to get that guy.
Well, you wanted to share Matt Breida.
Yeah, and I can just, that's more accurate than paying up at this point because at this point it's just a throwing my weight around.
All right. Broncos running back 1. Royce Freeman, Devontae Booker, D'Angelo Henderson, and Philip Lindsay's apparently making some noise.
Royce Freeman, and it's decided by training camp.
Royce Freeman is
it is training camp.
By
the end of preseason, sorry.
Okay.
Royce Freeman by week 1 of preseason, as he looks the best out of all the backs.
So by the time this airs, it'll almost be decided.
This is one of them where when it comes from prolificness, they're not going to lean on Case Keenum to win the games. They're going to try to win it with defense, and then use Keenum as they have to. So I expect it to be pretty balanced. And so this is going to be one of the more prolific jobs to win. And it's one of them that I think gets won outright without anybody really kind of eating into it, especially given Freeman's prowess at both pass catching and as a runner.
So you're predicting Freeman wins it outright, and then the other 3 are fighting basically for kind of a pass catching change of pace role.
Yep.
All right. Any bets on who wins that?
I want it to be D'Angelo Henderson.
You think Royce can take all?
Somebody also gets some.
Well, no, I'm not saying that he's going to get out. Royce might be the best pass catching back on here. At least the one with the most.
The problem is
might be, but he won't get all the work.
And the other problem we've got coming out of that too is pass blocking. So if they need a chip or something on a third down, then you could see him fall off for that.
Yep, and as noted, that was one of the concerns with him.
Yeah.
My guess would be Booker, but as Hopper said, I want it to be Henderson too.
So really, I'm just watching for Royce Freeman there to be what I think I know Royce Freeman can be and what I've preached since way back in April.
Yep. Go back and listen to the rookie running back preview if you want to get the rant.
March even. It's the pre-draft stuff whenever we drop that. So,
all right. Lions running back 1 and 2, Kerryon Johnson, Theo Riddick, LeGarrette Blount, and Amir Abdullah.
Go ahead.
It's Riddick's pass catching job. I think that's fine and safe. So I guess RB2 is his. If that's what you're going with. I think Blount starts, but I think Johnson's got all the upside in the world. I wouldn't draft Blount at all, but
I'm not
Blount's
drafting.
going to be more of a guy that just kind of just nags at Johnson's value.
I say I'm not drafting anybody here. I've got Blunt in a couple best ball leagues, but other than that, I don't want to draft anybody here. Kerryon
that's fine
Johnson
too.
rookie drafts is fine. I think that he flashes. I think that he can take the work. I think he's talented, but he has injury concerns. Blunt's old and one-dimensional, and Riddick's usage is kind of faded, and he has had his own injury concerns. So
Yeah, the Lions would
I
need
just
to be playing from behind, nothing
don't-
from them or value.
I don't want any part of this.
Yep, and Johnson is going 6'11". That's a little rich for my blood. If it was down,
He keeps going up too because
Yeah,
people are just fading on Blunt like they normally do this time of year, and Blunt just kind of hangs around. That's what he does.
But watch for
It's like weed
Kerryon.
smoke.
Watch for Kerryon to perform in preseason because my tone might change a little bit to the thought if he can steal the majority of that work and be, kind of a viable Deion Lewis type of flex play
Be the more
if he performs and if he doesn't break himself.
be the new
yes.
Amir Abdullah.
well, yes.
Yeah.
Just to clarify,
Abdullah did the same shit 2 years ago.
we cannot see the future. We're trying to dust off our crystal balls, but these are all to be determined. It's just our best.
Yeah,
guesses for
I
now.
mean, and I don't think Amir Abdullah makes the team.
all right.
I don't think it is either.
Packers running back 1-2, Jamal Williams versus Aaron Jones versus Ty Montgomery.
So early news out of camp is that Ty Montgomery's working as a third down back, which I think is the perfect role for him.
Yep.
And then, you could do some 2-back sets and split Ty out, but I'm going to stick with Jamal Williams here. From what I said earlier, I think that with the suspension to Jones, he's got the first chance to flash, and I think that we see some improvements, especially with him actually having a passing game to open the field up a little bit more.
I think this is Jamal Williams' job to start, obviously, because with Jones suspended. I think once Jones gets back, though, it could get kind of ugly.
Stack him.
Yeah, and I would definitely stack him. There's no problem with that because I think Packer running backs last year had 8 or 9 RB1 finishes. And
But it's
and a
knowing.
few RB2. I know it's knowing, and
It's
they had
big.
injuries to know it, but
It's Patriots level of annoying.
yeah.
So Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones are both going in the 8th. Montgomery's going late 9th.
I think Jones will keep fading until that double-digit round. That's where I'll feel comfortable taking him.
Especially if he can't get back from the hamstring that he's missing practice with right now.
Even better.
Uh,
Hamstring injuries and a suspension.
Oh, God.
We still have 3 weeks to rest it.
all right. Now on to the Colts clusterfuck. Marlon Mack versus Naheem Hines
Why don't you
versus
put a Robert Turbin in here?
Jordan Wilkins versus Robert Turbin because he
He's
still
suspended.
exists.
He's suspended for 4 games.
Yeah, and then he might come back and make this annoying.
It's already annoying, but Robert Turbin's cut.
Yeah.
Naeem Hines probably rarely works as a running back. I think he's split out more than anything. You'll see some pass catching work. A good thing to expect from Naeem Hines might be a lighter version of what Tariq Cohen was last year. I think is probably a good role on a team that's probably going to be a little bit better offensively only because the quarterback's Andrew Luck. And then
Well, and they have
A
a
lot better
former Eagle.
offensively from last
They
year.
have Frank Reich as their offensive head coach too.
yeah. This is also just going to be a lot of cluster fuckiness going on though. I like Jordan Wilkins as a dynasty pickup, but I don't really want anything here redraft.
I think this is tough because I think Hines takes majority of the pass catching work, or at least will get a lot of it. Mac can do it, but Mac was massively efficient last year. But if he starts with Andrew Luck back there, he can. I mean, that opens up the field a lot more than it did last year with Brissett.
What you're watching for in preseason here is really Mac or Wilkins to just completely outperform the other one. Otherwise, I think you're with split work there.
I agree with you there.
Yeah, I think of the two, Mac's probably the bigger home run swing just 'cause he's more athletic than Wilkins is.
Wilkins is more of a banger though.
Wilkins can do it all, really.
can,
too. I mean,
but he's not-
I think he was top 4 or 5 in elusiveness rating last year.
He's got
in college.
He's a vision runner. He's not that athletic though.
I give me vision over athleticism. We've seen how well athleticism without vision works.
Luck could really
Christine Michael.
space this offense a lot too, so vision could be huge for this.
It could. I'm just saying there might
Yeah.
be a little bit of lack of upside there because I don't think this is going to become a dynamic running team overnight.
Well, no, it may not even just be running. I mean, with the pass catching work there, because Luck can
So
opens up the field a lot.
my money's still going to be on Mac just because I think he gets first crack at it and he's had a year in the with some of the teammates, at least if it's not the same system. He's going late 6th, which isn't bad, but I'd like it to fall a little bit more before I'm really happy with
He'll
it.
stay in the 6 unless you're a bad camp press. I don't.
Which
see
it's been positive on everyone, which is annoying.
Yeah,
Even more. No, I've seen good.
it might
news on
rise
all of
now
them.
and then no.
All right. Patriots running backs. Michelle versus Burkhead versus White versus Hill versus Gillisley.
There's nothing clear cut here, but this is kind of like Cleveland almost. James White's role is insulated. Going back over Patriots offenses for the last 5 or 6 years, there's always been a dedicated receiving back on outside of the guy that gets about 180, 190 carries and 30 or 40 targets, Sony Michel. Outside of the other guy that gets 170, 180 carries.
And then James White gets 50 and 80 or 90 targets.
Yep, then that's what it'll be. So James White's the insulated one here. Sony Michel, it will be Deion Lewis types of volume, barring fumbles.
Apparently, he had one in training camp already.
Yeah,
And in OTAs.
so it's just
They made him run stairs.
That might be the worst. That may end up being the worst draft pick.
yeah. James,
That's what I hate Hurst.
Also like Cleveland. Yeah, also like Cleveland, I think that James White's really the one I want to own here because, you might get good weeks out of Michelle, good weeks out of Burkhead, good weeks, maybe even a couple good weeks out of Gillisley, assuming that he even makes a team. I think Jeremy Hill's got that role and Gillisley gets cut.
Yeah,
that's my expectation too.
Michelle's going 410. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. I think James White's still going 13, 12. He's the only one I want to touch. I depending on where
Burkhead 707.
that's a little too much for me too because I think Burkhead's going to be really hit or miss each week like he was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like would you rather have Rex Burkhead or Isaiah Crowell going around later?
Crow.
Yeah, because I think he has a
More
shot
path
to actually
opportunity.
win the job versus
And touches. So
And there's not going to be a clear-cut winner in New England. Everybody thinks Sony Michel is going to be the feature back. That just hasn't happened there. There's been one guy over the last 6 years that's had over 200 carries, and it's not like they haven't been void of injuries or inactivating people.
All right. This one might be a little bit of a softball, but the Ravens running back situation, Collins, Dixon, and Allen.
it's Collins all day, every day with Dixon's injury. Buck Allen will have some annoyance to him and maybe some third down work, but Dixon needs to get healthy for this to be much more of a competition.
All I'm watching here is who's going to be the pass catcher because that's the one area where Collins kind of struggled last year. So I'm watching Dixon's health and Buck Allen to see who's going to be getting the receiving work. And other than that, it's Collins all day.
Yeah.
Jets running back, speaking of Crowell here. Crowell, Powell, Rawls, and the now broken-footed Elijah McGuire.
Well, there's hype on Rawls.
No.
I haven't seen that before.
It's Crowell all day here, too. Powell, 31. He's not very efficient anymore. McGuire's
Coaches
hurt.
don't seem to like him for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason. McGuire's hurt. He's more just of an athlete than, I guess, much more of a running back. That's what we saw last year from him on tape.
Mm-hmm.
And Rawls is, you can't say healthy to save his life. So,
And he's inefficient when he is.
yeah, it's his, this should be Crowell's job all day. Should be.
Yeah, I agree with that. This is Crowell's, and all I'm watching is to make sure he doesn't completely shit the bed. Bilal Powell's never really been the guy. He'll get 130, 140. Other than that, it's Crowell who can also handle the receiving work.
All right. And we're assuming Drake locks down the one job and doesn't make this a total timeshare. Frank Gore versus Kalen Ballage for the running back 2 in Miami.
Frank Gore. It is.
Yeah.
Ballage, there's been reports of them just working the shit out of him just to see what he can do at this point. I think he's too raw at this point. And this is going to be Gore, who's going to just end up feeding potentially even into Drake's work because it's Frank Gore, and he's always an RB2.
I don't know that it's definitely not Kalen Ballage.
No,
we
it's
already
not him
know
this
my
year.
thought on that. So it's Frank Gore. As far as if he's fantasy relevant, I don't think so.
No.
Barring complete ineffectiveness or injury by Drake. So just watch for that. But Drake would really also have to shit the bed to lose that job. And Frank Gore in the 2, you can change of pace work, but I mean, you're not even really looking at third down work because Drake is at least adequate at that also.
No, I'd actually expect closer to more 2-down thumping work for Gore and then the high leverage stuff goes to Drake.
Maybe inside, maybe
We'll have to see. This one is a
goal line, but
Blodge will have to flash pretty heavily in preseason for him to see any significant work.
I don't
this
expect
year.
that.
All right. Raiders running back situation: Lynch, Martin, Richard, Washington, and Warren.
Jesus. Should be Lynch, but John Gruden is obsessed with Doug Martin, who apparently, I think I've seen something that he looked okay.
Watch Doug Martin usage in preseason.
Did Martin dump him at his bar mitzvah or something? Like, what happened here?
I don't know.
But yeah, he's really obsessed with Doug Martin, and all reports have been good so far on Martin.
Is John Gruden Jewish?
I don't think so, but
This is gonna get really ugly, if anything.
the commentary or the situation?
Both.
Lynch was
Shame.
fine last year when he just didn't. He was on a pitch count. Other than that, he was very good. So
Yeah, in the second half of the year, he was fine. He was very.
Well, they finally lifted the hold on him.
Yeah, he was a solid mid to high RB2 the rest of the year.
yeah. And so give me Marshawn Lynch. Doug Martin left a bad taste in my mouth. Phrasing, but
They're both pretty cheap though. Lynch is 704 and Martin's 1105.
1105 is too high for what Doug Martin did to me last year.
You guys were all in on Doug Martin last year,
And he was fine for those 3 weeks. And then the Bucks
You mean
imploded.
that 1 week?
No, there was 2 weeks. Then the Bucks imploded. He scored touchdowns the back-to-back weeks he came back. And then the Bucks imploded.
And that was the only reason he was relevant. Because
he scored touchdowns.
I don't want that.
The Kyle Rudolph rule,
Yeah.
or Jimmy Graham, that works too.
But yeah, just keep an eye on Doug Martin's usage. Make sure it's not anything absurd.
49ers running back 2, Matt Breida versus Joe Williams versus Jeremy McNichols.
Yeah, Team McDouble. But it's going to be Breida.
I want it to be Team McDouble so bad. But I also think it's Breida, and given the way that the hype is all around McKinnon gets every down work, but I think that you got to be kind of wary with that. So I do think that there is somebody else here that's going to be relevant. It doesn't mean I don't think McKinnon's an RB1. I mean, Devonta Freeman did it. So,
with Coleman as a 2
Coleman
or a 3.
as a 2 or a 3, and I think so it's Matt Breida here for me, but watch for McNichols to see if he grasps the playbook and if he flashes, because he's supremely talented, and he would fit, I think his profile is a little bit more of a Tevin Coleman.
He is the bigger, like in terms of BMI, he's the guy that should be the 1-2 thumper role. So just watch for McKinnon's usage to start the season. This could be like a Ty Montgomery thing where Ty saw 90% of the target of all snaps for running backs last year, and we saw how that turned out for him. So if McKinnon can't hold on to that work, this role could mean a little bit more, and you could see a Tevin Coleman and Devonta Freeman type situation.
Yeah, agreed. I also am very excited to see if either Williams or McNichols can show us anything, because both of them are talented. It's just, can they figure out the offense and learn to play in Shanahan's system?
Yeah.
Saints running back 2 for a 4-week fill-in: Terrence West, Jonathan Williams, Boston Scott, or Trey Edmonds.
West, because they brought him in. Scott's got the hype right now, and Williams,
Is Williams going to make the team?
no, I don't think he will.
What Dan just said, it's West for me. They paid him. They brought him in after the suspension happens. I think it was more than a camp body. I think that he profiles more as that type of player. Boston Scott can have all the hype he wants. You didn't see it on tape.
And he looked more like a special teams guy than anything.
He's super athletic, a lot of rawness. He's like this year's Elijah McGuire. I mean, Rock Thomas are the same build.
Don't quote me on this, but I don't think he's very big, is he?
Boston Scott, I think he was more short and thick.
Yeah, 5'7", 195. So yeah, short and thick. Basically Tariq Cohen, but even thicker.
Yes. Thick.
Where do you want Trey Cohen to be?
All right. Rams running back 2. So the handcuff behind Gurley. John Kelly or Malcolm Brown?
Better be fucking John Kelly.
I
don't give a fuck about Malcolm Brown. So this better be John Kelly.
Better be John Kelly. I just want to see John Kelly show the traits he did in college and preseason, and it'll be his job.
So the receiving the balance.
Yeah, but then it's just a handcuff. It's not a week value thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still nice to know.
I mean, maybe he gets like an Austin Eckler type of thing where
that wasn't a why did you put it in here? That was a setting expectations.
No, I wasn't saying for that. I'm just saying that still has value too. Just knowing who the handcuff is, even if you're not going to stash them.
And you could find value if they want to reduce Gurley's touches.
Yeah, I could see that as well if they decide that they don't want to have him be a year-over-year guy when they've just paid him all that money.
Yeah.
Steelers running back 2. James Conner, Jalen Samuels, or Fitzgerald Toussaint?
It's James Conner.
It is. I think. No, it's Connor. I don't think there's any more
Everybody
you can talk
wants to
about.
throw the Jalen Samuels hype out there, and people forget how raw he is. I'm not saying that he can't be talented, but I got a lot of pushback when I tweeted out, people are forgetting this. Well, James Conner only averaged 3.6 yards a carry. Well, Le'Veon Bell only averaged 3.9.
The whole running game struggled last year.
The whole running game struggled to run the football last year. And as far as Jalen Samuels go, he's more of an H-back type. He's very raw. He was a tight end / H-back / fullback / running back whose best traits, I think, were as a route runner.
Yeah, basically running out of the slot as a tiny tight end.
Yeah, that was his best role. He didn't have the shiftiness to be necessarily a running back or run violent enough or quite have the vision. He doesn't have the size to be a tight end. He came in with no position.
And he didn't show a lot of burst either, so he doesn't show the ability to get upfield and start making guys miss or start leveling guys on the second level.
Yeah, he's a very raw guy.
I'm just waiting to see how Pittsburgh uses him in preseason.
Yeah,
I don't think Bell's gonna get a lot of work this preseason. So for me, this could mean if Bell does get hurt, which he's known to do, or maybe he wants to get high and he gets suspended again. Connor and Samuels could be. We saw what D'Angelo Williams could do in this offense when he started. So this could be intriguing if something does happen to Bell.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I just want to see how the competition between Connor and Samuels and just how Pittsburgh uses Samuels.
Yeah, and not to say that I don't have some things I like about Jalen Samuels. When he went to the Steelers, I'm like, hey, that's actually kind of intriguing.
He's got some some pass catching upside if that's going to be his role.
I just don't see him as a true handcuff.
There are things I
don't
like
either.
about Jalen Samuels, but not in year one, I think is what it is for me.
All right.
I think he's developmental.
All right. Chargers running back 2, which as we saw last year may have some value.
I want it to be Justin Jackson so bad.
Aw.
Eckler flashed though, so this is definitely more of a watch it in camp thing. Watch to see how Justin Jackson performs. Watch Eckler to make sure he's still flashing. It could end up as a timeshare for the RB2, which would be ugly, but yeah, I think it's Eckler's. But I think if Justin Jackson shows out, he's going to eat into that.
Yeah, me and Hopper like Jackson on his tape. We like what he can do and bring for this Chargers offense. I think it's Eckler because I think him and Jackson are going to play very similar type of roles. And Eckler proved it already. Jackson may have been drafted and Eckler wasn't, but at this point it's wish-washy.
If you prove it in the NFL, it doesn't matter if you're drafted
exactly.
or not.
And it was a 7th round pick versus a.
But I know. I'm just saying what I've heard when this happened. People were like, "Well, Justin Jackson was drafted. It was a 7th round fucking draft pick, and Eckler's already shown upside in this league." And this is more of a depth position for the Chargers, I think, for me.
It is.
All right, and then the pointless award goes to, or at least we hope so, in case nothing happens to Barkley.
Don't put this evil on us.
Giants running back 2, Jonathan Stewart versus Wayne Gallman.
Wayne Gallman.
That's gross to say.
Yeah,
He did look
He looked pretty good last year.
better than I thought.
He looked better in the NFL than he did in college.
Yeah.
Yep. So he actually was an okay pass catcher and
He was okay.
mediocre between the tackles behind a bad offensive
He wasn't
line.
bad in pass protection either, which is where I think his role is going to be carved out if he even carves a role out.
Yeah.
Some pass catch or some pass protection work.
If Barkley's healthy, he's going to not see a lot of snaps.
Well, yeah, no, I agree. He can't play just like whoever we talked about earlier. He can't play every snap either.
All right. Any situations you guys think I missed?
Not that I can think of.
I don't want to think this hard.
I tried to go through every roster and make sure I didn't miss anybody, but
I'm just running through quick in my head, and I don't.
Maybe Clement and Sproles
Did we talk about Tampa Bay at all?
or Tampa Bay.
we did not talk about
That
Tampa
one's
Bay.
actually pretty big. So Tampa
Barber
Bay's-
and Rojo,
Split. Honestly, I think they
which kills them both.
kills them both. Yeah, I want Rojo to do it, but Rojo needs to prove that he can do it at an NFL level, being undersized, and you didn't really see the metrics. So, he's the one that could come out and dominate camp and win that job outright. Also,
Yes.
I just expect it less than I do Royce Freeman.
All right. And then Eagles would be Ajayi, Pumphrey,
Well, I mean,
Sproles, and Clement.
like Ajayi is the number one there. I think it's more or less who's like I guess who's the RB2? Like I just don't think it's
And
Clements.
how much does it eat into
Yeah,
Ajayi?
because I think Sproles will get his work, but I think he's more of just a veteran presence and maybe a guy there to be their special teams punt returner. Because he could be more important late season when they're making a playoff push, and that's where his role could really shine.
Am I wrong to not love anything really about the Eagles' backfield?
No, not at all.
I think Ajayi's my highest ranked, and he's at my 24.
And Ajayi really tampered out, really kind of faded off last year when he burst on this team with Philadelphia, then he really faded towards the end of the season.
And it's still better than he was doing in Miami.
It's true.
Everything was better than that, though.
It's very true.
So yeah, I still like Ajayi, but it's definitely
It's not a low.
lower than I was coming into expecting this season.
Yep.
All right. Anything else we want to add on this episode?
Nope.
All right. Well, we'll be back Wednesday to go ahead and talk about wide receiver and tight end camp battles, which there is a ton of wide receiver intrigue this year, so that should be fun to talk about. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at BeerfieldFF. That's also where you can find us on Untapped, where Hopper writes beer reviews, and Dan throws up the can art on Instagram at the same location, BeerfieldFF. Subscribe to us on YouTube if you want to see the video of me spilling on myself halfway through the episode. You can follow us Beerfield Fantasy Football.
You did?
I did.
What the fuck is wrong with you, Nick? Get your life together.
It's been a rough day. Beerfield Fantasy Football for Facebook as well. Individually, I'm at Nick Sparts. We got Dan Theory across the table from me.
Yeah, Theory BFF.
To my left, Christopher Hopper, who I think is in slightly better mood at the end of the episode than he was at the beginning.
Hot BFF with 2 Ps.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening, guys. We'll see you Wednesday next time.
We'll catch you next time. I mean, we're done.
Later.
See ya. Fucking amateur hour.